Okay, so we went over some of the strategies on how to find units. Um, you will have a script, so uh, just look over it, memorize it a little bit, get familiar with it, so that when you're talking to, property managers and landlords, it sounds more natural and it sounds like you know what you're talking about. Um, you definitely don't want to just be calling all these people and first thing you're saying is, "Hey, can I do Airbnb? Hey, can I do Airbnb?" No, we usually say like, "Hey, is the place still available? Do you guys allow corporate leases?" And then you go from there. We usually don't directly say that we're gonna do Airbnb. Of course, we 100% don't recommend you ever lie to a landlord or a property manager, because there's really no point in that. That really harms you more than anything in the long or short term. Say you lied to a owner and they don't know you're doing Airbnb. You sign a lease, you buy all this furniture, you spend all this time and energy. Um, a few weeks into it, they find out you're doing Airbnb. You broke the lease, they kick you out. Now you just wasted all this time, energy, and money. And what are you gonna do with all this furniture, right? You're gonna have to like put it in storage or something like that. It's a headache. So we usually just don't say it directly right off the bat when we first talk to them. We'll ask them like, "Hey, do you guys allow corporate leases?" If they say yes, we'll say, "Okay, a little bit about us. We're a short-term housing company or a corporate short-term housing company. Some of our clients, stay from anywhere from one night to a couple of months. Um, we have our own clients. We have our own website where they book on, but we also use online travel agencies, online booking platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com. And that's how we kind of ease into it. And, you kind of let them know, like, you kind of want to give them the feeling that Airbnb is not the main source of bookings and clientele, and that you kind of have your own, and that Airbnb is just more like, a side and additional um, platform you use to get uh, clients and bookings. And then just from the previous videos and the script of how you can solve the owner's problems, you'll get into that. And say you finally am able to convince or find a landlord that will allow you to do Airbnb. Um, After you negotiated some free rent, you will want to never order anything until you sign a lease. Once you sign a lease, you pay a security deposit. You want to give yourself at least like 2 weeks to order stuff. The bigger, bulkier stuff takes can take a while to get there. So say today is December 7th. If it was me, I would probably aim to see if we can start like maybe end of the month, right? Maybe the 21st. But Christmas is coming, so maybe you don't want to start on Christmas. It also depends on the building. Sometimes they're in a hurry to get their occupancy rate up, so they might try to rush you. And they might say like, "Hey, we're only running the promotion until like the end of the month, and start in January. We're not going to run a promotion with free rent anymore, or something like that, where it won't be as good." Everything's negotiable, so talk to them. So yeah, maybe it's Christmas time. You need to spend time with your family. You'll tell them I'll start my lease on January 1st. On top of the free rent, you can also always try to see if they'll give you some staging time. You need time to set up and furnish and take pictures and stuff. But if they give you like a decent amount of free weeks, then you don't really need to. You don't want to get too greedy or crazy, but it doesn't hurt to ask, right? So, um, starting date January 1st. We have like 3 weeks. You want to start looking for storage companies. Um, Specifically storage companies um that will take that will accept packages for you. And the one company I know that has been pretty good for us is called it's called Extra Space Storage. They're all over America. Every city I've been to, they have it. You could also find some local ones, whatever's cheaper. You just have to make sure that they're okay with accepting a lot of packages on your behalf. You'll probably have to sign like a hold harmless agreement. So like, and to give them permission to like go in and out of your storage unit. Um, so you want to find a company that can do that. After you sign up and fill out all the paperwork, you pay them. Um, you get the address, you get the unit number, and then you want to start ordering stuff because we generally want everything we need, all the furniture, all the supplies sitting there ready for us to get started as soon as we get there. And this is just me speaking from doing everything remotely. I don't know what city you guys are all in, different cities, I'm sure. Of course, we always recommend starting off, get some Airbnbs in your own backyard, so it's easy, it's close for you, everything's convenient. But if you're like me, you live in New York City, it's very strict and not allowed here. So if you're in one of those cities that's just not good for Airbnb, you're gonna have to go remote, and that's perfectly fine because I am based in Queens, New York City, and all of my units are out of town. Um, Most of them are in Utah. I have one in Nashville. I had some in Austin before, so they were all over the place. Don't be scared by the idea of running things remotely. It actually will give you a lot of freedom. And once you get your systems and processes in place and your team, your local boots on the ground, uh, it'll be fine. So if you're going remote, and even if you're not, I guess, I mean, if you're local, you still need a place to store everything. You want to order everything and have it sent to the storage unit uh, before you arrive, before well before the start of the lease. Um, if you call these places, the storage units, and maybe usually they'll say yes, but they probably don't understand how much stuff you're gonna be ordering. If they start to complain after a day or two, let them know like, hey, I'll make sure to like take care of you. I'll give you a gift card when I see you or something, because it's a lot of work for them, all this lifting and carrying and going back and forth. So make sure you let them know that they will be compensated for it. Um, so we're gonna go to our furniture sheet, which I will also give you guys. Um, you're just gonna need everything from like I think mostly I order my stuff from Amazon. I would say like 80 to 90% of my stuff is from Amazon. Um, and then I would say maybe 10% IKEA, and then, the rest would be like Sam's Club or Costco. But you could really get everything from Amazon, but sometimes Sam's Club and Costco got some better deals on the towels. I think the bath towels, Sam's Club got the best bath towels for the best price. Um, so here I have a sheet that just makes your life a lot easier. You don't have to order everything exactly the same. You can always shop around, switch things in and out to your liking. Um, if you find cheaper things, I swap them out as well. If I find a cheaper similar item, like a vacuum, we don't really care what brand of vacuum we get. We just want one that works, a good quality one, and one that is at a good price. Um, you also want to put your own little personal touch on it, in terms of design and whatnot. So feel free to switch things out, and you want to keep track so then you know how much you spend, and you don't want to go too crazy spending too much. Um, so the quantity is like this because like sometimes if I have like 3 units, I need to order three of everything, right? Um, and the general rule of thumb for us, the reason it says 12 here, or you see some larger numbers, we get 3 sets of everything in terms of the linens and towels. So you want to just always have extra on hand if it doesn't get cleaned or it's not dry in time or it gets stained or damaged or ripped, there's blood, whatever, you have to throw it away. You always have 2 sets for backup. And then you order more. You always want to have 3 total, okay? And here it says quantity and, ordered again. That's for, Amazon. Sometimes if you order more, they don't let you order more than one. So sometimes you have to order one, order two, um, go to checkout, and then you have to come back and order again. So this is just to help you keep track of like what you ordered, how many you ordered, and how many you need total. This is the price, and then you're gonna have to adjust this for the state you're sending it to for the taxes. Labor, that you can calculate that separately. Um, and you definitely want to order all this stuff using your 0% business credit cards. It's 0% for 12 months, so you can order all that stuff, and you don't have to, pay it off with any interest until next year. Of course, you got to make your minimum monthly payments, but this way it just doesn't tie up as much capital. So you're gonna order everything, and it's very important that you keep an eye on like what's arriving, what is, maybe they missed the delivery, it's delayed. You definitely want to keep your eye on stuff for stuff that's delayed. The things that you might have issues with is like bed frames, sofas, mattresses, large bulky items. Sometimes those get delayed and those take the longest to arrive. So you definitely want to make sure that you check Amazon and you see that they're delivered, and maybe they show you a picture of it being delivered. Maybe you want to call the Extra Space people and like, hey, did some big boxes come today? Or, you just want to keep track of your Amazon orders. Make sure everything is there, nothing is missing. Um, because with us, a lot of times we show up, things are missing, then we got to order it again. Usually Amazon is pretty good. They arrive like next day, 2 days, or whatever. But uh, if like a bed frame or a sofa doesn't arrive or it's damaged, you're gonna have a bit of a headache when you show up. And that's why it's also very important when you first get there, you want to open up all the boxes and check everything, especially those big items I talked about. Those take the longest to show up. If you do have to reorder it, you want to give yourself plenty of time and reorder it on day one. Um, so okay, so you're gonna order everything. They're gonna arrive to the storage. You're gonna go to uhaul.com. You're gonna find a U-Haul that's close by here. Or even close by the airport, I guess, close by either the airport or the Extra Space storage. You're gonna rent a U-Haul, and then kind of just book it for whenever you're gonna arrive when you land if you're flying over. Um, and before you arrive, you want to start finding some helpers. If you don't have friends that are gonna fly over and help you, lift and move stuff. My first 3 units, it was just me and my dad, and it took us about like 3 weeks to do it, and we did it, but it was very tiring, and it was just too slow. Like we, I, burned 3 weeks setting it up. Where, time is money. So that lease was already started. We were paying rent on it already. So you want to get that done as soon as possible. So you might be saving money on labor, but you're spending money on rent. So you really got to do the math and see if it's worth doing that or not. Um, you can go on TaskRabbit. You can go on um, Thumbtack. I think Thumbtack is a little bit more expensive usually. It's usually like companies, and they try to charge you per item. Like, oh, I'll come assemble the bed frame for you for 65. So I don't really like that. We want to find people who will work by the hour. Um, TaskRabbit usually is better. You can find you want to find reliable people. I had a few TaskRabbit people. They were canceling on me and left and right. So maybe try to find some people with like reviews. The cheapest is not always the best. Um, Facebook groups. You can find Facebook groups for that city, and you can say like, "Hey, I'm looking for handyman," right? So it could be like, for example, Tampa Airbnb hosts, or like Tampa handyman, Tampa jobs, and then you could post in there and offer, I don't know, maybe 15-20 bucks, or see like what people are charging. But 15 or 20 bucks, it depends on the city. It sounds about right. Depending on how much stuff you have and how much manual labor you want to do, you might want to get a couple of guys. Um, so find your handyman, get your U-Haul ready, let them know what time to meet you there. Um, let them know like what to expect. Like, hey, I got a storage unit full of furniture for a one-bedroom apartment. Um, I'm gonna need you for probably the whole day to assemble and move and furnish uh, a one-bedroom apartment. Just let them know what to expect. See if they have tools. Ask them to bring their own tools if they have. You're gonna, move everything to the unit, the apartment. Sometimes I even try to send the heavier or bulkier things to the building if I can. You definitely don't want a bunch of stuff piling up in the lobby while your lease hasn't started yet. Leasing office might not be too happy about that. You can always ask them. But sometimes when I don't want to lug around a giant mattress or super heavy bed frame or a sofa, I will order stuff so that it arrives to the building while I am there furnishing. So we talked about January 1st start date. So if I can time it on Amazon where I see the estimated date is January 1st or maybe the 2nd, I might just, hey, those few bulky items, let it go directly to the building. It can arrive on the 1st or the 2nd. Um, and one thing I learned is for the sofas, I used to order everything online. I started going local now to Ashley's Furniture Store. They they're not the cheapest, but there are some cheaper options. But one thing that I really like about Ashley's is that they can deliver to the unit, and you could pay. I think it was like $100. I don't remember. You could pay for like a warranty. I don't know if it was a lifetime warranty or a 5-year warranty, but if it's damaged, ripped, or stained, they will come clean it or fix it. If they can't, they'll replace it. So for us running an Airbnb, if you plan to be in business for more than a year, that's going to be a lot of wear and tear and stains and dirt on the sofa. I think that's a great warranty to have, because you definitely don't want to be buying a new sofa every year or two, because they do get dirty and worn, and guests sometimes are kind of careless. So uh, yeah, definitely search Ashley's Furniture Store in whatever city you plan to go to. I think they're all over America too. Okay, so yeah, like I said, you're gonna move everything to the building. You're gonna open all the boxes, all the cardboard boxes. You're gonna break them down. The leasing office will probably tell you like where you gotta throw all the trash and everything. You tell all your furniture people, to your helpers, your handyman, to start building stuff and putting everything in place. Um, and you might want to find a photographer before you do all of this. Before madness starts, once you start furnishing and doing all of this, the lease has started. That's when the clock is ticking, and all the craziness starts. So while you're looking for handyman, before you fly over, before the lease starts, you want to look for handyman, cleaners, and a photographer. Photographer, you could either Google it, you can also look on Thumbtack, also Facebook groups, and kind of look specifically for Airbnb photographers. You definitely don't want like a wedding photographer. You don't want portrait photography. Um, Even real estate photography is iffy. You want someone that has experience with Airbnb. They just know how to get the angles. They know how to get the right lighting. They know how to place the items and move things around. It's very specific for Airbnb. So once you get all that in place, everything is done and furnished. You're gonna tell the cleaners to come and do a deep clean because it's gonna be very dirty and messy after all that moving around and opening of packages and furnishing. You're gonna have a deep clean done before the photographer comes. And once the photographer comes, you're gonna ask them if what the turnaround time is. Usually it's like within 24 hours. Um, they'll get you the photos. You can upload it to Airbnb, and then we're gonna be moving on to how to do a listing. Okay. Yep. All right. See you guys in the next video.